Hey, good morning. Happy Sunday. Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming, and continued testing on the in development Glory Days college football game, and introducing a tweak today. And this is based on testing to date and feedback, and also, again, as we strive to bring the game in line as statistically accurate as possible and make sure that both sides of the ball are having the appropriate influence on the play result. So what this tweak involves is, you'll see on the card here, on the team card, there is a double line between on the run and pass charts, basically between the 0 and where the negative results start. So what has happened now in, again, testing and tweaking with the game engine, anytime a negative result is rolled on the line control check, the 2d6 check, you will look, instead of basically basing it all on the offense's results adjusted, you'll go to the appropriate defensive teams column, -1 through -3, and get the result from there. So to give you an example, or to, I guess, explain it in more detail, 0 through 3 here on BYU's card is rated on their actual performance in the run game, with 1 being the, I guess, basic mean level, the average of what they would do. 0, which would be considered a stalemate with the defensive line, would be a little bit less than their average result. And the reason it's factored that way is, again, off the 0 column to these results, or the column you read off of, are adjusted by the back. So as an example, Tyler Algier, if you get a 0 result for him, even though there's a stalemate at the line, he is a talented back, so he's able to break that stalemate, and his result would then come off the 2 column. Conversely, Zach Wilson, the QB, on a stalemate here, he is not as dynamic as a runner. And, he's a decent runner, but he's not ultra dynamic. So his result would be considered less than average. So you would go from 0 to -2 because he has a -2 0 column adjustment. So to kind of wrap that up, the stalemate, the defense has a slightly better chance to make the play in the hole than average. And then based on the runner's actual skills, it could increase the defense's chance to make a play in the hole or lessen it, if that makes sense. So the back's individual skill also comes into play there. For the rest of these, again, everything positive, including 0, comes off based on the offensive results. And now if we rolled a line control check and Coastal Carolina had the advantage there, so it came out to be a -1, instead of going here, this is BYU's defensive run adjustments, you would go to Coastal Carolina, read off their -1 column, and BYU is a better run defense than Coastal, and that's where you would get the results. So you see here, even though this is a -1, there's still an opportunity. And just like in real football, even if they're there able to make a play in the right position, sometimes you'll miss a tackle, so that could be an 8-yard gain. And then the other results, there's a 6, which is decent, but the other results are below what the offensive team, especially in BYU's case, would expect to get, and then it gets progressively worse. And again, on the -3, there's still that 1 roll where you get an 8-yard run, but everything else is 0, mostly 0, 1, or 2 with the 3 result, and of course the 2 stuff results. So that is how that is going to factor in. We're going to do a quarter of sample gameplay to demonstrate that. And same thing basically on the passes. This is based on BYU's pass defense, their pass offense, and then any negative rolls there would go off of Coastal Carolina's pass defense. And if the opportunity comes up, we will also talk about the scramble rule, an optional scramble rule that we're looking at when a sack chance comes up. Hey, what's up, Matt? So without further ado, let's go ahead and play this out. These two met last year. It was actually BYU's only loss, a game they took on 2 days' notice. And fair play. BYU had to travel across the country, but Coastal Carolina only had 2 days to get ready too. And frankly, in this game, watching it, BYU is out coached. focused too heavily. Again, limited time to prepare. They focused way too heavily on Coastal Carolina's RPO game and had their worst game of the season, in my opinion, stopping the running game. And I don't even think it was close. Coastal Carolina, to their credit, to their coach's credit, they didn't get fancy. They just stayed basic, pounded the rock. BYU, again, their linebackers playing with hesitancy to take away the RPO. Weren't filling as they should have. And, close game. BYU had a chance to win at the end, and was stopped at the 2-yard line. So anyway, we will play this. The reason I say all that is I think BYU overall is a little bit better, or has a better talent pool than Coastal. Coastal Carolina, though, they just had a magical season last year and should totally get credit for what they accomplished. All right, so adjusted drives. Coastal is 10 per game, BYU 11. That means each team will get 10 drives per game, 5 per half. And BYU has called even, and the toss is even, so they will get the opening kickoff. All right, the other thing, too, talking about penalties, and it's not on this chart. I haven't printed it out yet, but any special teams penalties, offense or defense, will automatically be a 5-yard penalty. And I will, again, factor in a roughing the kicker later, but just for purposes now, it'll be a 5-yard penalty, as these don't really come into play, some of them on special teams. All right, so we will do the kickoff, and 0-2. Coastal Carolina has a kickoff rating of D. So D and a roll of 0. That's going to go to the end zone. Will be a touchback. BYU starts their first drive on the 25-yard line. All right, offensive and defensive ratings. Basically, again, a very evenly matched game. They are close in terms of talent level and how they match up. Advantage BYU has is their drive offense is going to be a +2. Coastals will be a 0, no adjustment there, as BYU had a slightly better defense against drive probability. So BYU will go +2 on the drive chart, meaning they have to get 27 to 88 to have either a big play or a successful drive, and they get 34. So this will indeed be a successful drive. And 19 on the drive chart, that is going to be 4 plays for 29 yards. So it's going to take BYU down to the Coastal 46-yard line, down and distance situation. And again, Coastal's defense is an 8. So a roll of 8, down and distance situation for an 8 defense is going to be 2nd down and 7. And that's where we will jump into play-by-play mode. No, yeah, in that situation, Matt, you actually jump columns because he averaged significantly above what the team averaged on the ground. And conversely, to a lot of quarterbacks who are averaging 1.9 yards a carry should be penalized for that. So you go to the defensive chart and read negative there. So, yeah, absolutely. All right, so here we go. First down, and BYU. BYU is, again, a balanced team, and they're going to come out and they're going to go up top. Zach Wilson looking for a kill shot early. It's going to be a long pass. And 4 and 6 are the trench control rolls. So BYU's pass will be 2 stars there against no stars for Coastal. So we'll go to a long pass, +2, roll of 7, and that's going to be 18-yard strike, and that will go to Dax Milne. But we have a possible sack opportunity. So BYU has a sack rating here of 1 to 4. They protected Wilson really good, solid offensive line, one of the top 10 in the country last year, actually, in terms of ratings. Coastal Carolina's adjustment is a +1, so a 4 or less, this will negate that play, and it is indeed a sack. So Zach Wilson, the CC defense getting after him, he manages to slip out of the grasp of one defender and fight towards the line of scrimmage, but that will still be a sack for a loss of 2 yards, and that's going to make it 3rd down and 9 from the 48. And off the board we go. All right, 3rd down and 9, and the call there is a 2. So they're 3rd and 9. They're going to call a draw play, and they do catch. You see these numbers here. A star means the defense is expecting this play in the down and distance, so they get an extra ring gen or line control star. I'm thinking Glory Days Boxing. The hashtag means they are caught off guard by the play call, as it's not expected in this down and distance situation, so that will be a -1 trench control star or line control star. So in this case, a roll of 3 and a 5 for BYU. It's going to be normally would be a 1-star advantage for BYU, but with the adjustment for catching them off guard, it will be a 2-star adjustment. So we'll go out of the 2 column, and ball carrier on this is going to be Fanua, and Fanua. Never mind, no adjustment there. So Fanua in the 2 column in a roll of 4, and that's going to be 5 yards and a possible fumble. So BYU shooting themselves potentially in the foot early on. It's going to make it 4th and 4, and we will resolve the fumble. Coastal Carolina +3 on their defensive fumble recoveries. BYU again took care of the ball 1-4, so 7 or less. It's going to be a turnover, and 7 or less indeed. So Fanua gains 5 yards and fumbles, and Coastal Carolina is going to take over on their own 43, 1st and 10, and they will get their first simulated drive of the day as BYU turns the ball over to start the game on their first drive. All right, Coastal Carolina. They have a very solid offense. They are a run favor offense, or they favor the run offense, I should say. But their drive offense rating is a 10. BYU's drive defense rating is a 10. So we will go off the 0 column on the drive. 0 to 38 is a punt, and 75, that is going to be a successful potential scoring drive for Coastal. And that's going to be a good drive. 7 plays, 55 yards. So Coastal sets themselves up in great position all the way down to the BYU 2-yard line, where we'll jump into the down and distance situation here. So they go down to the 2, roll of 7, and it's going to be 1st and goal from the 2. And BYU, as they did in the real-life game, getting themselves in a hole early here, and perhaps jet lag caught on the back foot, but Coastal is set to jump into play-by-play mode, and 1st and goal, it's going to be a run play. 4 and a 5 for Coastal. It's going to be a +1 on the star ratings. So +1 and a roll of 6. And that is going to be a touchdown. And the ball carrier on that is going to be not Maripol. It's actually going to be Grayson McCall, the quarterback. He fakes the read option, pulls it, and scampers in 2 yards for the touchdown. And Coastal Carolina has jumped out to an early 6-0 lead on the Brigham Young Cougars in this one. And extra point is 0 to 91. It is up and good, just inside the left upright. So Coastal Carolina 7-0, and again, as they did in real life, they got on BYU early, and it was a dogfight the entire game. But Coastal will now kick off for the 2nd time in this one. And no penalty check, and roll of 1 on a D. That's going to be another touchback. Brigham Young is going to start their next drive on their own 25-yard line once again. And let's see if Zach Wilson can get a little magic going here. And again, they are a +2, so 27 or better. It's going to be a successful drive. That's a 58, and they do have a potential successful scoring drive going. 4 plays, 30 yards on the simulated drive portion, which is going to put the ball on the Coastal 45, and our down and distance situation of 7 is going to be 1st and 10. So let's see if BYU can get back into this game. Their 2nd drive, trailing the Chanticleers 7-0 here midway through the 1st quarter. And 1st down, Zach Wilson is going to come out on over the top again, and that is a potential penalty, and we have a stuck dice, so that will indeed be an offensive penalty. We will come back to that. We'll play the result of the play out first. All right, so 8 long pass and deuces for both. Strong pass defense for the Chanticleers. It is going to be an even result. So on the 0 column, long pass and a roll of 2. That's going to be an 11-yard gain. And so there, Coastal is going to want the penalty. Let's see what it is against the Cougs. And that's going to be an illegal formation, 6 men on the line of scrimmage. And that will make it 1st down and 15 back at midfield. Penalty accepted, and that negates an 11-yard Wilson pass to Milne. So BYU, 1st and 15, and they're going to come out and run the ball here. So 3 and 5, it's going to be a +1 star advantage, and the ball carrier again is going to be Fanua, getting some early action in this game. So +1, 4, and that's going to be a 6-yard gain. Precariously close to that fumble result again, so that'll make it 2nd down and 9 for the Cougars. Zach Wilson getting the call from the sideline. It's going to be a short pass, and we have another potential penalty. 13 is outside of the range. So 4 and 4 for BYU, and that is going to be a +1 star advantage on the short pass. And roll of 3. Oops, wrong column. Roll of 3. That is going to be a 7-yard gain, and the receiver on that's going to be Lapini Katoa out of the backfield. As Zach Wilson completes his first pass in play-by-play mode. So 7-yard gain is going to make it a 3rd and 2 from the Coastal 32. Expecting a run here, and again, 3rd and 2. If it is a run, Coastal will get an extra star because they're laying in wait for that. 5 and a 6, it is indeed a run. So BYU, in a bad scenario there, Coastal with the extra star, this is going to be a -2 result, and we will show you how the defensive interaction comes into play. So -2 result in a roll of 2, and that is going to be a 1-yard gain. So stuffed in the hole is Tyler Algier. It's going to make it a 4th and 1 for the Cougars, and we have decision time here. And 4th and 1 from the 31, that's kind of no man's land. It would be a 17 onto that. Would be a 48-yard field goal. And BYU's got a very good kicker. Jake Oldroyd he was actually perfect in field goals, but of course, there still has to be a chance for a miss or block. So 0 to 97 is as good as you can get. And Kalani Sitake, he is going to be cautious and try and take the points here. So 97 or less. Kick is up and good. And BYU on the board on their 2nd drive of the game. That makes it 7 to 3. And the Chanticleers ready for the kickoff. Hey, Jason has also joined us too with Matt, 2 of our testers who are doing a great job on this. Love the team charts. Yeah, and I think they're definitely a great suggestion, and I just had to figure out a way to implement it and still keep things balanced and the same on the cards. And I think this is, at this point, showing promise. So we hope that continues. All right, BYU set to kick off now. They are a C. And it's going to be a touchback. So both kickers booming the ball into the end zone as we start 2 drives left in the first quarter, 1 for Coastal, 1 for the Cougs. And Coastal Carolina, after a very good first drive, back out on the field. Grayson McCall, the QB, trigger man. And 37 at a actually, this is 0. 37, and that is just missed being a potential successful drive. So this will be a punt for Coastal Carolina. And the roll of 20 on the punt yardage is going to be a -2d6 result. So Coastal goes backwards as their drive total of -8 yards. And that was 3 plays, so a sack involved there. And again, that's a portion of the behind-the-scenes piece of the simulated drive portion. So when you get those type of results, you can assume sacks or penalties come into play. And again, that's kind of a behind-the-scenes mechanic. So 4th down back at the 17-yard line. And Coastal will punt for the first time. So after a brilliant opening drive that saw them go 57 yards in 8 plays, Coastal now 3 and out. As punt team steps onto the field, Coastal is a C punting, and BYU punt return is a D. No penalty. And 9. It's going to be a 40-yard punt, but a potential block, which we will roll for. And a D7 on the return is going to be a fair catch. So 40-yard punt, we will check the block first. And again, 99 will be a block and gets it away successfully. So 57, and that's going to go down to the Cougars 43, and they will start their final drive of the first quarter there, BYU. Back out on the field, trailing 7-3 to Coastal Carolina. Zach Wilson trying to engineer a successful drive, 73 at a +2. That is going to be another successful drive or potentially successful drive. 3 plays at 34 yards. So BYU looking to bounce back from that opening fumble, and 77 is going to take it to the 23-yard line of Coastal. And when I say 77, 77 total yards with the starting position in the drive. And a roll of 6. Again, Coastal with that 8 defense. It's going to be 2nd and 10 from the 23 as we slip into play by now. And Zach Wilson looks to get the Cougars ahead as they started this game rough with a fumble lost on their opening drive. Coastal's defense barking out adjustments, and Zach Wilson going over the top once again. 3-1 though. Coastal lying in wait for this. It's going to be a 0 result. The intended receiver is going to be Neil Pau, and a roll of 1 on a long pass, 0, and that is going to be incomplete and a possible sack. So we will roll for the, and I'm just going to actually introduce a separate 1D20 here for that. 5 will come with the game. So a possible sack, and BYU, this would be a killer of a play. I mean, either way, it's going to be a field goal attempt, but try not to make it worse than it already is. So BYU sack rating, again, Zach Wilson is sacked on a 1-4. And Coastal has a +1, so 1-5. And Zach Wilson just escapes the pressure, slips out of the hands of the defensive end, but it's thrown incomplete towards Pau, and that is going to make it a 3rd down and 10. So crucial play for BYU, and it's going to be a penalty on the Cougars. So we'll run through the play first and see how it comes out. 3 on a 3rd and 10 is going to be actually, again, they try, nope, that's going to be a short pass. My apologies. So 5 there, deuces for both. It's going to be a 0. So short pass, roll of 5, and that is going to be an incomplete result. And let's see what the penalty would be. See if Coastal wants to back them out of field goal position. That would have been an off or a false start. They're not going to give Zach another chance. Either way, the field goal opportunity would be about the same. So they will take the incomplete pass, and BYU, once again, is stopped, and they're going to have to try for a field goal. Again, the results here, 45-yard attempt, 0-97, up and good. And BYU, as the first quarter ends, has clawed back to within a single point of the Chanticleers. It is 7-6, and this went pretty fast. I think we'll just go to halftime. And just subject down, blah, blah. Yeah, no, you got, again, you know, like I've told you guys, this game is about, you know, it's going to be whoever purchases it becomes your game. So I appreciate feedback and questions and suggestions, and that's hopefully what is going to make this a very solid college football sim when the time comes. And again, this will release after the 2021 football season. As we head into the second quarter, BYU is set to kick it off to Coastal. And that's going to be a touchback. So Coastal starts their first drive of the second quarter on their own 25-yard line into the simulated drive piece. Grayson McCall, freshman sensation. And again, C.J. Marple now on the roster of the Chicago Bears, a very capable running back. And here come the Chanticleers, first down. And again, as a favor run team, this is going to be a run play. 5 and a 4, though, unfavorable result for the Chanticleers. It's going to be a -1, and Maripol is indeed the carrier. -1 comes off the defensive chart, and a roll of 4. That's going to be a 2-yard gain for CJ. Oh, I really botched up, guys. Sorry. I'm calling plays, and I should have done the simulated drive. Whoops. Disregard that. Simulated drive 13, and Coastal is actually going to have to punt again. So 20, and that's going to be another negative drive. BYU bringing the pressure. And I could have gone play-by-play for that drive. I did that in the game I tested yesterday. It's going to be -3 total punt. But just going regular mode now. So 4th down from there, and the Chanticleers on the punt. And again, a C punt team, and a roll of 8 is going to be a 43-yard punt. So down to the BYU 35 where it is fielded, and a 4 on the return. Again, BYU not super nifty on punt returns. That is going to be a 3-yard return. So BYU starts their next drive on their own 38. So Cougars' first drive of the second quarter. They get 2 this quarter. Chanticleers get 3. Simulated drive portion for BYU. And again, 39 or more. And 81. That's getting up close to big play territory, but not quite there. It will be another successful drive, however. And roll of 9, it's going to be 3 plays, 27 yards on this drive. So BYU moving the ball. They still trail, though, thanks to a turnover and their inability to finish drives. 27, 58, 65. So down to the Chanticleer 35 and a roll of 3. That's not going to be good for BYU as Coastal Carolina, a defensive 8. And that's going to be a 3rd and 10 situation. So that's why BYU is not finishing these drives. They get an unfavorable down and distance as the drive progresses. So let's see if Zach Wilson can pull some magic out of his hat here. 3rd and 10. And roll of 6, 3rd and 10. That's going to be a short pass. So Chanticleers do not get the advantage there. 5 and a 4 are the line control rolls. And that's actually going to be a +1 advantage to the or a -1 advantage to the Chanticleers. So it's going to come off of their card. And roll of 7 on the short pass -1. That's going to be incomplete. So Coastal stops BYU yet again after surrendering yardage in the middle of the field. 4th down and 10, and we are at the 35. This would be a 52-yard field goal. BYU's max is a 54-yarder, and again, Jake Oldroyd, very solid. This 0 to 97 is going to be good, so BYU is going to try their 3rd field goal of the game, and no penalty kick is up, and it is good. A 52-yard strike from Jake Oldroyd. BYU, on the strength of 3 field goals, has gone up 9 to 7, and again, a dogfight. Coastal gaining moral victories, keeping BYU out of the end zone with that high-powered offense led by number 2 overall pick Zach Wilson in the 2021 NFL Draft. BYU set to kick it off, and 7. And BYU a C, so kickoff result of 7, and that is going to come down to the 5-yard line, and Coastal Carolina, their kickoff return is an E. They are not very good at special teams in terms of kickoff returns. It's still going to be an 8-yard return, however. So up to the 13-yard line, and that's where their next drive will start. Coastal's 4th drive of the game. They have a touchdown and 2 punts thus far. I'm going to check up with you real quick. Jason Austin, thank you for joining us. Yeah, it's again, just trying to get a balance between statistical accuracy, immersion for the player, and also speed, because that's always been my one complaint with football games in general, is they play too long. And the one football game or football, I guess, experience that really does a great job of this concept to me is Grid Zone by Gary Brown. Excellent game, and he's totally honest. It is not meant to replicate football, but it is meant to give you a football experience, and it does an exceptional job of that. So that's part of the inspiration, too, in the design here. Al, Red Sox fan, check out that great channel. Yes, let's see if BYU can reverse history. Welcome, my friend. And be sure to give Al a sub if you have not. He has the best commentators in the sports board game genre, for sure. Yeah, those BYU fans. We suck. You know what? We're going to there we go. Just so we have no doubt where my loyalties lie. All right, back to the game. Coastal Carolina, this drive from their own 13. Let's see if Grayson McCall can generate a drive here. They've had some tough results, and again, this is coming off the 0 column, so just got to get more than 38 and 0-8. They're going to get stopped and have to punt again, and this is kind of what this game settled into midway through, is kind of a defensive back and forth. This is going to be a 3-play drive. I'm sorry. 3-play, 6 yards. So they go 3 and out again, though, and only gain 6 yards up to the 19, and their third punt of the day. I've not checked what they had to do in the real game, but I believe it was 6. 6, yeah, 6, I believe, was the correct number. 6 or 7 with the punts for Coastal. I know BYU punted 7 times in that game for sure. All right, so no penalty on the punt, and Coastal a C, and roll of 5s for both the return and the punt. That's going to be a 42-yard punt and a fair catch for BYU. Going to go down to the 39. So BYU definitely winning the battle of the early field position here. 2 more drives for the first half, and then we'll call it a stream. BYU 1, and Coastal Carolina gets 1 more. Here we go. And 64, and BYU once again is going to generate a successful drive. See if this time they can cash it in with points in the end zone. This is going to be a 3-play, 30-yard drive. So down to the Coastal 31, and down and distance situation here is going to be 3rd and 4. So BYU is getting some unfavorable down and distance as they get into the play-by-play portions of their drive. See if they can convert here and not have to settle for another field goal attempt. 3 for 3 is Jake Oldroyd so far in this one. So 3rd and 4, Zach Wilson comes up, and that is going to be a long pass. So Wilson taking a shot, and a roll of 3 on the line control for BYU is going to be 3 stars and a 6. That's a positive 3. So positive for the Cougars, and the pass is going to be intended for Gunnar Romney. Roll of 4 on the +3 long pass, and that's going to be, 18 yards and a possible pick. Not good. So we will mark off the yardage, as that's going to not have an effect either way, and it will be a first down for somebody either way. So that's down to 13. And let's roll the interception now. So Zach Wilson, hopefully BYU will not shoot themselves in the foot yet again with a turnover. Zach Wilson, very good at taking care of the ball. He was only 1 for 3. Coastal Carolina, though, their secondary were ball hawks. They are a +10. And they did pick Wilson off in this game, if I remember correctly. So 1 to 13, Coastal will stop, and Coastal comes up big. An interception stymies BYU as they were going inside the 15-yard line. Coastal's going to take over there for their final drive of the first half. But again, it's been a tale of field positions. The last 4 Coastal drives, starting at their own 25 and their own 13. BYU's last 3 drives have been their own 43, 38, and 39. So Coastal now, let's see if they can pull off a drive at the end of the first half here as we move into the final minutes of the second quarter. And again, just got to get more than 38. They have been unlucky. And finally, Coastal, a potentially successful drive. First time since their opening time with football. It's going to be 5 plays and 40 yards on the simulated portion of the drive, which is going to make it 53 yards to get down to the BYU 47. BYU with a 10 on the drive defense. It's going to be a favorable roll for down and distance situation. It's going to be 3rd and 8 from there for Coastal. So 3rd and 8, the BYU 47. Grayson McCall is going to have to pull a little rabbit out of his hat here. Tight game thus far, 9-7, and again, very much the defensive struggle this game was in real life. Both teams scoring well below their season averages. All right, Coastal Carolina and 5. 3rd down and 8. That is going to be a short, barely just a short pass attempt by Grayson McCall. And 4 and 6 are the line control rolls. So for Coastal, that benefits them. It's going to be a +2 coming off of Coastal's offensive card on the short pass. Roll of 0, and that's going to be a 6-yard gain. So that's going to set up a decision for the Chanticleers. And at this stage of the half, as that pass goes to Brown, it's going to be a 4th down and 2 at the BYU 41. I'd say this is definitely go for it situation, especially Coastal Carolina slight underdogs in this game in real life. This is something their coach would do after watching some of their game film this year. So 4th and 2, let's see what the Chanticleers have up their sleeve. That 1-6 is a nice trench control roll, and they're going to come out and try and shock BYU, and I think they actually did this once in a regular game. 4th and 2, they're going over the top, deep ball, and a roll of 1, so they get that extra stars. BYU's caught off guard, so that's going to end up being 4 stars in the line control on deep pass to 0 for BYU. +3 is as good as it gets, so we go +3 off the long pass chart. Roll of 1, and BYU dodges a bullet. That ball was on target and dropped. And the intended receiver there on the long pass is likely, and that just went off his fingertips. Would have been a 1st down, as that brings the first half to an end. Turnover on downs for Coastal Carolina. So our score going into halftime is BYU 9, Coastal Carolina 7. No, I missed something on that. Yeah, Coastal should have got an interception return on that. I'm sorry. And in interceptions, when that happens, there's no specific ratings on those. You just roll a 1d6 and a 1d10, 4 and 1, and that would have been a 7-yard interception return. That actually may have made a difference. No, it wouldn't have. So they still would have been in that same situation on the drive roll, but they would have been close enough to maybe try a field goal. Yeah, Coastal does have a 51-yard max, so I kind of screwed them out of the field goal attempt there. That would have been a 0 to 97 chance, too. All right, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead, and this game's gone quick. I've got stuff to do, but I don't care. I'm going to play the second half. So Coastal's going to get the second half kickoff. Here we go. Possible penalty 15 is a no on the penalty check. So BYU, again, kickoff of C, and kickoff of C, roll of 3. That is going to be a touchback. So Coastal starts the first drive of the second half on their own 25-yard line. And again, Grayson McCall brings the troops out. 39 or more, and they're going to have a potentially successful drive. 5 plays, 42 yards on the simulated drive portion. So after a couple of 3 in a row bad drives in the middle of the first half, Coastal getting it together now on offense, and 60 yards, that's going to go down to the BYU 32. Down and distance situation, though, that's going to favor the Cougars for sure, and that's going to be a roll of 3 as a 3rd and 12. So BYU in a idyllic situation now here against Coastal Carolina, as let's see what they have in the playbook for a 3rd and 12. And they're going to try a draw play, and it's going to go to one of their lesser used backs. Pinson. Pinson is a big play back, however. So we have ones for both. And again, Coastal will get the extra star because they caught BYU off guard here. Unfortunately, though, with the roll of 1, it's only going to be a +1 star advantage. So he is not going to get the first down. A roll of 3 there is going to be a 4-yard run and a possible fumble. So Pinson, 4 yards down to the 28. That is definitely in field goal range, as it will bring up 4th and 8 if they do not recover the fumble. And the fumble chances here, BYU's defense, they're not very good at getting fumbles. They're a -3, and Coastal is 1-10, so this makes it a 1-7. And Coastal loses the ball, so BYU's defense comes up big, gets the takeaway, and they're going to take over on their own 28-yard line for their first drive of the second half. And again, BYU's offense is a +2 on the drive, so 27 or better. Let's see if BYU can peel off another drive. 38, they're going to get it done. 15, and it's going to be 4 plays, 33 yards, so BYU 53-61 down to the Coastal 39-yard line. They're going to get a terrible down and distance situation, though, as well. It's going to be 3rd and 15 for the Cougars from there. So both defenses bending but not breaking here, as BYU has to convert a clutch opportunity here, and 17 yards onto 39 would make 56. So they're just out of the long field goal range, too, hoping to at least get in the field goal range. And playing cautiously, it looks like that's what Sataki wants to do, as that's going to be a draw play on 3rd and long. And again, BYU is going to get the extra star result there. So that's going to be 3 stars for the Cougars against 2 stars for Coastal. I'm sorry, 1 star. So a +2 advantage for BYU on the run. And ball carrier on that is going to be Lopini Katoa. So an 8 on a +2, and that's going to be a 5-yard run, but going to come up well short of the first down, but that gets them a more comfortable field goal attempt as Katoa fights forward. So we're going to look and see our 4th field goal attempt for BYU, and surprisingly, they've been kept out of the end zone. Coastal has given up yards, but they've stiffened up inside their own territory. So from here, this will be a 51-yard attempt. Kick is up, and another long field goal for Oldroyd. BYU now up 12-7 as Coastal, giving them all they can handle, as they did in the regular season, as BYU set to kick it off. So here we go. BYU kicking it off to Coastal to start their second drive of the 3rd quarter, and no penalty result there. The kickoff is going to go down to the goal line for the Cougars. And again, the Chanticleers not very adept at their kickoff returns. Roll of 4 and an E. It's going to be a 14-yard return, so Coastal's going to take over there. And another I've started inside their 20. That makes 3 of them this game. And that's part of the reason Coastal, after that initial drive where they capitalized on a BYU turnover, has had issues. 90 on the even result for Coastal, and that's going to be a potential fumble for Coastal Carolina. So roll of 8 on the potential turnover column, 2 plays, 26 yards. So there is that, and that gets them up to their own 40, but now they have to hold on to the ball. And this will be a first down if they do, 1st and 10 if they can't hold on to the ball. All right, so again, Coastal Carolina fumbles are 1-10, -3 for BYU's adjustment, so 1-7. And Coastal, it's loose and scrambling to get on the ball. And Coastal Carolina, that's highly getting on the ball for the Chanticleers. They are going to recover, and we're going to jump into play-by-play mode now as they avoid the turnover. And again, it's going to be 1st and 10 from their own 40. Grayson McCall, it's going to be a run play. And again, using some of their more obscure ball carriers, this is going to be Jones for the Chanticleers. And roll of 2 and against a 1, that is going to be no, so it's going to be a 0 on the run chart. And the ball carrier Jones, no adjustment. So 0 on the run chart, roll of 8. That's going to be a 3-yard run for Jones. And brings up 2nd down and 7 as they get up to their own 43-yard line. 2nd down now, 0 to 5 will be another run. Instead, this is going to be a short pass attempt for the Chanticleers. And that's going to be 3 stars to 0. So Grayson McCall finding a hole in the coverage, rifles that in there, but that's going to be dropped. A beautiful pass. And again, not very many incomplete rolls on this part of the chart. That's the 2nd time he's rolled there. That's going to be intended for Hiley, and he's going to drop that. So both quarterbacks struggling a little bit in this as we have a 3rd and 8 now for Coastal. BYU's defense subs in the nickel package. And 3rd down and 8 and a roll of 6. That is going to be a long pass. BYU gets that extra star, though. So long pass, and it's going to be 2 stars against 2 stars. So coming off the 0 column and 0 column, roll of 0. And that's going to be another incomplete pass from McCall. So BYU's defense, both defenses, only 1 touchdown in this game. Scored by Coastal on their very first drive, as both defenses have stiffened up inside their own territory. So Coastal now is going to punt the ball away, 4th down and 8, or 7, I'm sorry. 4th and 7 and no penalty, and Coastal on the punt. Roll of 1, they are a C, and that is going to be a 38-yard punt. Down to the BYU 18, and the return on that for the Cougars. Roll of 8 on the return in the D column. That's going to be no return. So BYU starts a drive in their territory as well, deep in their own territory. First time they've been inside the 20. It's happened to Coastal 3 times, as mentioned. All right, roll of 0. Let's see if Zach Wilson can perpetrate another drive. 89, that's going to be a potential fumble for BYU. So both teams sloppy with the ball today. 4 plays, 35 yards on the simulated portion of the drive. Three, so it's going to be down to the Coastal 47, and BYU has got to make a fumble recovery now. They've already had 2 turnovers in this game, a fumble and a pick. So Coastal, BYU again on their fumble is a 1 to 4, and Coastal does a good job getting on the ball, +3, 1 to 7, and 18. BYU, though, able to come up with their miscue, so they keep the drive alive. And that's going to be a 1st down and 10 from the Coastal 47. 12-7, BYU in the lead. And Zach Wilson needs more than that, though, and double zeros. That is going to be a run play on 1st down. And Coastal, a very solid run defense. So 4 and 3, that's going to be 2 stars against 2 stars. And the ball carrier on that, I got to get this out of there, sorry. Ball carrier on that 19 is going to be Miles Davis, and he is a +2. So that's going to move the result from the 0 column to the +2. And roll of 0, Miles Davis reels off a 9-yard run. He was used infrequently, but a dynamic runner who only a true freshman last year. So he's poised to have a pretty solid career at BYU. Multi-purpose back, makes it 2nd down and 1. Zach Wilson, and Zach Wilson's going to play action, short pass attempt, and ones for both. Penalty, it's going to be on BYU, so we'll see what the result of the play is. Coming off the 0 column, roll of 7 on the short pass, and that's going to be a 4-yard gain. Coastal is obviously going to take the penalty on that. And 5, that is going to be another false start for the Cougars. So back that up 5 yards, and that is now going to be 2nd down and 6. Zach Wilson's the offense. 2nd and 6, and they're going to call a run play. And again, a penalty on BYU. BYU self-destructing on these drives. They generate good yardage between the 20s and then just bog down. So this is going to be, again, a run result, and 3s for both offense and defense on the line control check. It's going to be negated, and the 1 ball carrier on that as well. So that would be Algier. That would be a +2. Coastal's definitely going to take that penalty, as that would have been a, well, yeah, that would have been a big play breakaway. So they're definitely going to take the penalty here. Penalty this time 12, and that's really bad news for the Cougars. That's a holding penalty. So that's going to bring up a 2nd and 16, as that's back to their own 47. 2nd down and 16, BYU, and when you get above 15 yards on 1st and 2nd down, you revert to the 3rd and 6+ chart for the play call. It's going to be a long pass, and you still unfortunately have that result of Coastal expecting this, which they do. So 3 and a 2 on the pass for BYU. It's going to be a -1 star, so the result's going to come off of Coastal's card. Roll of 5, as the intended receiver here is going to be Neil Pau'u again. So -1 on the long pass chart for Coastal, roll of 5, and sandwiched right there between a bunch of incompletes is a 14-yard gain for the Cougars, and that's going to get the ball back down to the 39-yard line, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 2 for BYU. So Neil Pau'u, a great catch of a Zach Wilson strike there. 3rd down and 2 for the Cougars, and Coastal expecting a run, and that's exactly what they get. Coastal does get the bonus stuff for anticipating the run, which makes it a stalemate. 3-3, and the ball carrier there is going to be, again, Fanai is in, and Fanai is a below average runner, so that 0 becomes a -2. We go to the Coastal card. Not good for BYU there, but Fanai able to scratch out the 2 yards needed, and BYU just gets a 1st down. So 1st and 10 at the 37 as Fanai comes through for the Cougars, and off he goes. Zach Wilson now going to be another run play. Leaning dice again. 3 and a 2, and that is going to be a stalemate. Ball carrier is Tyler Algier. He is an above average runner, so that boosts the 0 to the +2. 5 yards, but we have another potential fumble for the Cougars, and they are killing themselves in this game. So again, with adjustments, it's going to be a 1-7. The ball will be lost, and damn it, 6. BYU has turned it over again. So the Cougars doing themselves no favor, as Coastal now, the final drive of the 3rd quarter, in a very much a dogfight here. It's going to be their own 32, where they take over, and they'll try and drive, get into the 4th quarter here with a chance to score, or with the lead, I should say. 21, and they're going to have to punt, though. So McCall, 4 play, well, not punt, kick. 4 plays, 35 yards. So 67 yards there, takes it to the 33. And this will be a 50-yard field goal, which they are in range for, so they can cut the lead to 2 points here. So 51 is their max, so they are just within range. So Coastal Carolina in to try field goal to get this to a 2-point game. And kick is down, no penalty. It is up, and it is good. So Coastal Carolina on the final play of the 3rd quarter cuts lead to BYU 12, Coastal 10. And again, very much a defensive slugfest in this. One sec here. All right, so as we head into the 4th quarter, both teams come up with a field goal in the 3rd. Cougars will receive the kickoff. They'll have 3 drives. They lead this one 12-10. And again, Coastal giving them all they can handle. BYU, prolific offense has not gotten going for the Cougars here. All right, so kickoff from Coastal. And again, Coastal is a D, roll of 5 on the kickoff table. And that's going to go down to the goal line as BYU set for the return. And roll of 7 on the return. That's going to be an 11-yard return. So BYU starts yet another drive inside their 20. A second time in a row that's happened to them. Let's see if they can pull off a successful drive here. And BYU +2 on the drive chart, 64. That is indeed going to be a successful drive. And 11. 5 plays, 32 yards. Gets it up to their own 43, and we will jump into play-by-play of 7 on the situation dice. Means it is a 1st and 10 for the Cougars. That's favorable. Zach Wilson up. And BYU is going to get stuck with yet another penalty, as they call it, a run play. And ball carrier there is going to be Algier. And roll of 4. We have another potential fumble for Algier. What is happening with BYU right now? Already 3 turnovers in this game. Very much out of character for them. So we will see if Coastal recovers 1-7, and BYU has turned it over again. Unbelievable. And Coastal is going to start their drive. As they start in BYU territory, they're going to go straight into play-by-play mode. No simulated drive here. So BYU self-destructing, giving Coastal every chance to get back into this game. As 1st and 10, ball at the BYU 48. Grayson McCall brings the Chanticleers up, and that's going to be a potential penalty. 10 is outside of the penalty range, though. And it's going to be a run play to start the drive. And 4s for both offense and defense. That is going to be a 0 result. Ball carrier is going to be McCall, and it will come out of the 0 column. And 2-yard gain for the quarterback, Grayson McCall. So 2nd down and 8, BYU playing the Chanticleers run game much better than they did in real life so far. Again, 12-7, BYU early in the 4th quarter. And that's going to be another potential penalty. 9 is above the Chanticleers penalty roll. Very disciplined on offense. So 2nd down, that's going to be yet another run play. And 3s for both offense and defense trench control roll. Again, will be a 0. And ball carrier is going to call once again, roll of 6. And it's going to be a 5-yard gain for Grayson McCall as he pulls it on the read option. It's going to set up a 3rd down and 3 for the Chanticleers at the Brigham Young 41-yard line. So 3rd and 3. Let's see what the play call is here. And they're going to stick on the ground. And BYU, let's see if they're expecting it. It's going to be a -1. So this will indeed come off of BYU's chart. Roll of 4 on the defensive chart, -1, and that is a 2-yard gain. That sets up a 4th and 1 for the Chanticleers, and the ball carrier there is Jones. So 4th down and 1, ball at the 39-yard line. You're out of field goal range. It's early in the 4th quarter. You have got to go for it. Yeah, this is definitely turning into a defensive battle. And even the way the real game ended, Zach Mill caught a skinny post from Zach Wilson, and as time expired, was tackled on the 2-yard line. Heartbreaking loss for the Cougars. So here we go, 4th and 1, and let's see what the call is. I'm expecting a run play. It is a run play. BYU expects a run play. And BYU stacked the box, and this is not good for Coastal. Roll of 6 against a 3. And with the additional star, it's going to be a -3 result, and BYU is tough there. Roll of 0 is going to be a stuff, meaning they penetrate into the backfield. And Kairos Tonga from the nose guard position. Second time we've had dice go out of bounds. So from the stuff chart, Kairos Tonga breaks through, roll of 8, and that's going to be a 3-yard loss. And ball carrier on that, again, is going to be it's going to be wide, actually, this time. So -3 yards, and BYU has risen to the occasion and stopped Coastal Carolina on downs. And BYU now can put the dagger in. So they're going to take on their own 42-yard line for their simulated drive. And BYU, very uncharacteristic, 3 turnovers. Let's see if they can generate something. And 20 on a +2, that's going to be generating a punt. So BYU on their own 42, or at least a kick opportunity. 18 a punt drive. And that's 3 and out, 3 plays, 0 yards. So Coastal Carolina stepping up big time here as they need to in clutch time in the fourth quarter. BYU is going to have to punt from their own 42. And no penalty on the punt. BYU, a very good punting game, and 0 there on the punt. That's going to be a 58-yard bazooka, and that's going to make it to the end zone. So Coastal is going to come out and start. This is actually their final drive of the final drive of the game. So both teams down to their final drive. BYU will get one after this. So this is the ball game, folks. 12-10, a defensive slobber knocker, as Grayson McCall needs to make something big happen here. And if we get a punt situation, you will learn about a new optional rule for last drive, unsuccessful drive opportunity situations. 23, and that's exactly what we're going to get. Roll of 1. It's going to be 5 plays, 22 yards. So here's how this is going to work. All right, so 22 yards from the 25 up to their own 47. So what we'll do here is, obviously, a team in real life down by 2 points, their last drive of the game, is not going to punt the ball away, right? So the optional, well, it's not an optional rule. It's a 2-minute rule here. You will roll a situational dice, and it's going to be 4th down regardless. So you roll a situational dice against the team's defensive rating. BYU is a 10 on the drive defense. So whatever the yards to go come up as, it will be a 4th down and that. 9, and that is going to be 4th down and 8. So the Chanticleers are going to get one last chance at their own 47-yard line, 4th and 8. Grayson McCall, let's see if the freshman sensation can pull a rabbit out of his hat here for the Chanticleers. BYU expecting a pass. They've got the dime package out there, and it's going to be a long pass attempt, so BYU gets the extra star. But doubles, and bad luck upon bad luck. It's going to be a penalty for the Chanticleers. So BYU stands to do favorably, or nice, I should say favorably here, no matter what the situation is. It's going to be a -1 result on the long pass. Roll of 2 for the Cougars, and that's a 16-yard gain. BYU's defense blowing the coverage. They are definitely going to take that penalty. Let's see what it is for the Chanticleers. A roll of 9, and that's going to be a killer holding penalty. So that's going to make it 4th down and 18 from the 37. And Chanticleers have no choice here but to go for it. Go to the 2-minute chart in this situation, and it's going to be a short pass. Another potential penalty, but no. All right, so the Chanticleers here, a short pass roll of 4. And rolls of 3 for both the offense and defense. This is going to come up well short of the 1st down, unfortunately, for Coastal Carolina, and what has been a very good game. It's going to be a +1 result, though, and +1 roll of 4, and that's going to be an 8-yard gain. But again, they needed a lot more than that. They needed 18. So BYU is going to take over on downs yet again at the 45-yard line. And the recipient of that pass for Coastal Carolina is going to be likely. No, not a likely recipient. That's actually his name. So BYU on their last drive of the game. And here they're just going to go into kill the clock mode. And in that situation, it is basically the option here too will be to basically kneel and run down the clock. But you first And I'm still playing with this rule in terms of how to end the game. Obviously, BYU would run out the clock here. So it's going to be taken from the 3rd and 1 to 2 chart, going to be a run play. Coastal Carolina is expecting a run play. And roll of 6 and 5, that is going to be a +2 for the Chanticleers. Tyler Algier is the ball carrier. So +2, roll of 9, that's going to be, or -2, roll of 9, I'm sorry. That's going to be a stuff. So BYU has to get at least 1 first down. That's the current optional rule we're working with here to run out the clock. And that is not a good way to start that. As a 7 on the stuff chart, that's going to be -2 for Algier, who's had a some rough sledding against the Chanticleers. And actually, they're at the Coastal 45. So 2nd down and 12 from the Coastal 47-yard line. Again, staying with the 3rd and 1 to 2 situation for play calling, and just missed a penalty opportunity there. Ball carrier again is going to be Algier, though. And again, Coastal expecting this, and it's going to be 2 stars for BYU, 1 star for their defense, and with the star result, that's going to make it even. So that kicks in Algier's boost, and that's going to be a 9-yard gain for the Cougars. So clutch running play there for Algier. It's going to make it 3rd and 3 from the Coastal 38. And this is the ball game right here. BYU looking to run out the clock. And here we go. And BYU, for whatever reason, they're going to try a short play action pass. Okay, I guess they could do that. 3rd down and 3, sorry. 3rd and 3 for the Cougars, and roll of 4 and a 5. That's going to be a +1 star result for BYU. And roll of 3 on the +1 is going to be a 7-yard completion, and that's going to go to Isaac Rex, the tight end, and that's going to wrap up the ball game for Brigham Young, as Rex hauls in the 7-yarder from Zach Wilson, and BYU is just going to run the clock out now, and that's your ball game. So BYU able to avert what happened in real life and run the clock out and hold on for a nail biter, a defense slugfest. And as Matt mentioned, in real life, this game was 22-17, so it definitely had some defensive moments, but this is going to be a 12-10 BYU victory. BYU, their own worst enemy in this game, as we do the recap. BYU's drives were fumble, field goal, field goal, field goal, interception, field goal, fumble, fumble. So 4 turnovers, 4 very uncharacteristic turnovers by a opportunistic Coastal Carolina defense. Punt, and then game. Coastal Carolina's drives were touchdown, punt, 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 downs, fumble, interception, field goal, downs, and downs. So 3 times Coastal stopped on 4th down situations. Crucial playmakers stepping up for BYU in those situations. So that's the ball game. And definitely a different result in this one than the real life game. Thanks to everyone for watching. Matt, Steeler Fan 1933. Both Jason's, Al, Red Sox fan. Appreciate you guys stopping by. And again, if you're following the testing and like how it's going so far, please give this video a thumbs up. Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming. We will talk to you later. Hope you all have a great Sunday. Take care.